Well, it is the start of a new school year for many in the metro today, but a new year can trigger anxiety for some kids.
Yeah, even more so these days. So on this week's Therapy Thursday, Dr. Sarah Getch from Kansas City University explains how you can make that transition easier for the kids. And Dr. Getch, I know that it's always sort of a stressful time for kids, but coming out of the pandemic, or I guess we're still in the pandemic, but school's just been so weird the last couple of years that that's triggered a lot of uncertainty and anxiety. So what can parents do to sort of mitigate that?
You know, it's perfectly understandable, right? All of this uncertainty makes everybody a little uneasy. And so having parents ask this question makes a lot of sense. Parents can help their kids by starting out just talking about it, asking about potential fears or worries that your kids might have, but then also focusing on some positive. You know, what happened last year that you really liked or that was really great? And is that going to happen again? I think that parents can also empathize. You know, parents can say new things are sometimes scary and nerves are really, really normal. And I always remind my children that we were built to do hard things. We as humans were made to do hard things, and we can be brave and we can do this. Parents can also be helpful by getting kids back into their regular routine. So the regular sleep routine, bedtime routine, wake up time, I know they're not going to like it, but it is really important to get them back in that routine. And then also I like to remind parents to connect their kids socially ahead of time. If you know of classmates that live nearby, let's go ahead and get those kids together. My kids have told me that we're not allowed to use the word play date anymore, and so we call them hangouts. So get them together so that they can hang out. And then finally, I really like it when you can have your kid connect with the teacher ahead of time. And so all of those worries and fears that we were talking about earlier, bring those questions to the teacher and have the teacher address them.
I like that. Okay, so let's talk about something a little bit more serious here, and that is, what should you do if your child has a hard time making friends? Or, even more worrisome for parents, what about being bullied?
Yeah, I think, you know, this is something that parents need to pay particular attention to. So if you're noticing that your child is maybe not acting like their usual self, they're a little bit more withdrawn, they're not wanting to engage in school the way that they used to, this might be a sign of bullying. And so asking and talking about it again is really important, having open lines of communication. Get the teachers and the administrators involved if that is something that you think is happening at school with your kid. And then also, I really like to role play at home with my children and play it out and teach them some appropriate ways to respond when somebody is bullying.
And Dr. Getch, you know, sometimes kids have a hard time articulating what's really going on. You get them to talk about what's bothering them. So what are some telltale signs that your kid's struggling or anxious about something at school?
Yeah, this is a great question. So you're going to see a difference in behavior. So if you see a change in behavior, that's something to be paying attention to. And then also if you're seeing maybe an increase in tantrums or crying when you're separating from your child, that's something to pay attention to. Difficulty getting along with others when maybe they didn't have difficulty previously. Avoidance of hanging out with friends that they used to hang out with. So these might be signs, but then also sometimes with our little ones who can't really verbalize what's going on, we're going to see these things manifest physically. So we might all of a sudden see a lot of stomach aches that we didn't necessarily have before, or feeling too tired to do things, or maybe even some trouble sleeping. So any of those sort of changes in behavior that we can't verbalize that something is wrong, but we are seeing it play out in the behavior, those are things we need to pay attention to.
All right, Dr. Sarah Getch from Kansas City University. We are out of time this time, good doctor, but we look forward to our next visit next month on another very important topic. Thank you, Dr. Getch.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.